Hello everybody, welcome back to StarCraft 2 action. We have CuKu going up against SpazyMazy, SpazyMazy. I've always said SpazyMazy in my head, but I can see an argument for SpazyMazy. And we are here for the Homestory Cup, Group C. And we are finally get to quench our thirst for Zerg games with SpazyMazy over here. Going up against CuKu, going for a pool first variation, which is always interesting. I like pool first builds versus Terran, because they can, but do not have to be, a lot more aggressive. Which Terrans usually do not like. They have to like do scouting and stuff. And like respect the fact that you might just have a Roach Warren and try to kill them. Now, this is the last match for Group C. After this, we're moving on to Group D. We get to quench our thirst a little bit more with some laser games. But as we've seen in the previous groups, the Zerg representation will be rather sparse going into the top 8 as well. So it's going to be rather challenging. How does one enjoy StarCraft without Zerg? It is possible, doctors just don't want you to know about it. Now we see Reaper opening here from CuKu. Let's see if he goes for that super fast third base. And we see 6 links going out here from SpazyMazy. He's getting gas as well. Going up to speed most likely. And these lings are going to try very hard to not get seen by this Reaper. They are succeeding so far. Now 6 lings can definitely clean up a Marine and stop this CC from building. Probably not enough to cancel the CC in time. The Reaper, however, is going all the way across the map. Now the lings come in. One of them goes up, gets shot by the Marine. And that means this one ling's already halfway done. One ling is attacking the CC. Lots of SCVs are being pulled. This one Marine is doing work. And the Reaper is on its way back. Speed far from done. So if the lings stay any longer, the Reaper will definitely find them. And they are going to stay, going to try and delay the CC for as long as possible, but they will all get cleaned up here. They try and dive onto the Marine. The SCV movement has been pretty stellar here from CuKu. And I don't think he lost anything. Nope, he cancelled a reactor once. Still some gas damage, that is not unimportant. Third base is going down as well. And SpazyMazy has not seen the third base. Maybe he can deduce it. But for now, also didn't see the gas. Nope. It's probably a good thing. Speed is about to finish. More lings are coming out. And interesting that CuKu is going for a bunker here. Oh, this Reaper. Speed is about to finish, and I think the lings are going to catch up with this Reaper. Are going to be killing it, and a couple lings now do run across the map. A couple more have spawned. And look at that, CuKu. So cognizant of the fact that some speed links could be really annoying. It's not even such a weird speed timing. It's just, perhaps this is just something SpazyMazy does on the ladder quite a bit, because CuKu seemed almost more than ready. Now 3 Hellions are out. And this Overlord does spot them leaving. This Ling spots them. SpazyMazy is so ready. He's done this before. He's like, okay, if this Ling gets killed or the Hellions start following it around, I can do a cheeky Ling run by, kill some SCVs. There's probably nothing else except for the Hellions. And we do have a starport here. No starport unit just yet. Do get the medevac coming out. Only 2 Marines on deck. And of course, this Overlord can be pretty aggressive with the vision, as long as it is protected by these lings. However, there's just too many Hellions, I feel like. Now the bait reverses. This is a bait. Unless there's too many Hellions, then it's a reverse bait. I'm pretending to take the bait, but actually, you are taking my bait. And I'm also taking the life of your Overlord. Rest in peace, Overlord. You did well. The front wall is starting up. We have a third base already completed. That's some good mule money right there. More Hellions underway. We already have 7 and 2 more. That's quite a few Hellions. An armory is about to finish up, so this could be quite a few Hellbats for CuKu here. And with a medevac, they are going to be pretty tough to deal with. The Lings do find a way into the natural, and of course all of the Hellions are across the map, except for these two at the front with their Firebat form. Now the Firebats do get on top of the Baneling Nest. We have 3 Marines and a medevac to support. That medevac is going to keep all of these somehow biological Hellbats alive. They are literally cyborgs. And CuKu is walking up the ramp here. SpazyMazy has 5 queens. The one with Transfuse is luckily on that patch of creep there. The Banelings hatch and boom. All of the Hellbats go down. Some Banelings left over as well. And CuKu, only 32 workers now. Second Baneling Nest does get made. So this actually finished up. He started Banelings, it died, and then... Wow. Now, CuKu did lose a decent chunk of his CVs. 13 went down, but he does have the 3cc to pull back up into the count, and he also has all of those mules still mining for him. So you see that the mineral income even swings his way a couple times when the mules deliver their goody goodness. Now, more Lings and Banes coming across the map. We have a juicy Spire on the map. Now, that's what I like to see. Spire, baby. Whoa. The Banelings get 1 Hellion, his car tire, slowly floating up to the surface, which is not really what they do, but sure. It makes me think of that, they did an experiment where they dumped, like, millions of old tires onto the ocean floor. I think it was near, like, America did that. I think it was... like near Miami, Florida stuff. I think it was over there, but I could be wrong. They dumped a shit ton of car tires in an attempt to like give some type of a base for a coral reef to grow, because it was kind of getting ransacked by fishing and stuff. And it just, you know, global warming making it more difficult for coral reefs to stay alive, since they are very sensitive to temperature changes. And they just dumped a whole lot of tires, and they started to drift. Now we do have a Marauder Hellbat push here. That's quite a few Hellbats. Stim not even complete. This is such a weird ZVT. And the Mutas are coming out. There's no anti-air here whatsoever, so the Mutas are gonna do some work. But are they going to save this third base? The Lings and the Banes swoop in to assist, or well, I guess the Mutas assist. And CuKu actually GG's out after that. He has a third base, but this was a killing type of push. But SpazyMazy cleans it up, and CuKu just loses faith here. He has double NGB, he has a third base. I don't know, I guess he knows how much damage he needs to do here, but if you play on here, I think you can. Although, I didn't catch how far along his upgrades were. But, like, actually taking your third is gonna take a while. And behind this, the Zerg just takes a fourth and gets 80 drones. And then, in that time, you barely manage to establish your third base. And then you just probably die to a million run-bys. And for game number 2, we are here on Site Delta, another standard map with SpazyMazy and CuKu. CuKu pulled out a pretty greedy 1-1-1 with 3cc, tried to get some damage done, make quite a few Hellions into a Hellbat push, into then a secondary Hellbat push with Marauders. Didn't end up doing enough damage in his eyes to stay in that game. SpazyMazy got a good amount of damage done with a Ling run by pretty early. And so now we are here in game 2 where CuKu has to show us that he can adapt to this. And we see another pool first build from SpazyMazy, which I like it. I think that's a build that if you have that as a Zerg player, you are capable of doing the pool first. You're so scary for any Terran player. Now, I will finish the Coral Reef story thingy, and it's that America dumped a lot of tires. I think it was like multiple millions, like 2 million or something. Don't quote me on the numbers. And the idea was that it would give like a foundation for coral to grow, like a safe space for fish to be, etc., etc. But what happened instead is that the bindings that they used to keep the tires together, like they kind of make like big bricks of tires, those started to come loose, you know, after like being underwater for tens of years. I think it's like 50 years ago that they did this, so they were also a little less knowledgeable. And also, tires can be pretty toxic. They have some toxic elements, so it's just not good for the submarine life to be with those tires. And then also, they got loose, so they started like spreading themselves out over the seabed, damaging all of the coral that was actually left. So they did more damage than good, is basically the moral of the story. Which is sad, honestly, because the idea wasn't completely ridiculous, and it seemed like a good solution, right? Like, if you have a lot of leftover tires, which, you know, I feel like there are, because recycling tires is kind of annoying. And we usually outsource that to, like, different countries and stuff. SpazyMazy, again, committing a couple links across the map. Oh, now we have the Roach Warren. I missed that, but there are some roaches on the map. He did go for the Roach Warren variation. 5 roaches around the map, and he's droning behind it. And he lifted the CC. He's making double bunkers, so his Reaper definitely saw those coming across the map. And we already have 1 Ravager here, and I kind of like SpazyMazy's build here. Pretty low committal push, 4 Lings, 5 Roaches, couple Ravagers. He's getting some vision. He could probably kill the depots, maybe an add-on. And until there is either a tank or a Banshee or multiple Cyclones, I don't know how this Cyclone specifically does against the Ravagers nowadays. Because the old Cyclone was really, really good against these type of pushes. This one is still capable, but I think shorter range. Alright, 3rd Ravager's coming out as well. Now we get the Corrosive Biles. If you place those in between the buildings, you get a double hit, which is, of course, double damage. Feels good. Oh, the Lings get tricked. They get, well, they get aggroed, kind of like a World of Warcraft mob. And they actually go up the ramp and get killed by the Marines. The depot doesn't get killed. SpazyMazy went up there a little bit too frivolously. Loses a Ravager and 2 Lings there, and the Overlord. I mean, he's not too bad. His economy is looking pretty nice. He's getting a 3rd base. And now speed also starts. So hopefully he doesn't get killed here on the run back. The scary thing for Zerg now is that you didn't drone early on. So it's even more important now to keep droning and to not make units too early. But it's pretty, like, difficult to know what the Terran is going to do, because usually the Terran reacts differently than other Terrans. Like, some Terrans like going for a super fast tank, some of them react with rushing a Banshee, some of them make multiple Cyclones, and so you don't have a good read on what the Terran is doing. Some of them don't even make this 3rd CC anymore. So it's just something you have less knowledge or less experience with. So that's why I say, if you master this pool first build, you probably play enough games to know when to make units. Now we see SpazyMazy making a lot of Lings here with speed. So he's kind of trying to punish CuKu for greeting up here. And this looks like a wall that is impenetrable. For SpazyMazy, he hasn't even seen the wall yet because of the siege tanks just shutting down his lings. Now he finally sees it, and he is going to commit. We have 2 tanks and a lot of marines. They don't have stim yet. 1 siege tank does go down right away, and SpazyMazy starts up 6 drones right away. Rightfully so, because, I mean, he just got stonewalled. He did get a tank for his troubles, and he lost a couple more lings. Yeah, lost like 20 more lings, but he's alive. He's droning again. He's getting a lair, but he's kind of low on drones. This is what I'm saying. It's pretty difficult to stay ahead of the Terran here. I mean, especially if you go for a blind all-in like this. Now he goes for double Evo and starts gases before he has all of his mineral saturation. That doesn't feel good as a Zerg player. He's just going to be low drone all the time. 1 bad trade versus a Bioforce that might be better upgraded than yours. I mean, it's okay. He's going double ups and he's going roaches. Okay, that makes more sense. So, to me, this looks like a roach follow-up type of bust. You just want to go for a 1-1 all-in attack. Just go up to 200 supply with roach, roach, roach. Now, I won't save the corals, sadly, unless somehow I fall upon a lot of money. Then sure, I will, I'll do my part. But I will keep providing you with some, well, let's call it excellent StarCraft 2 content. Blow my own whistle a little bit. So if you want a piece of that, be sure to like and subscribe. Now, CuKu does a little push here, but the first siege tank gets shut down right away. CuKu does find out that there's a very, very high number of Roach Ravager here already. And SpazyMazy's not stopping that. And the most annoying thing for a Roach player is these goddamn drops. Now, we do see that the Lings went to the third base for CuKu. Denied that a little bit. Making sure that it can't land. Almost no SCVs were hurt in the production of this game so far. 8 minutes in, only 3 SCVs died for all the pressure that SpazyMazy has been putting on. That sucks, dude. These siege tanks and marines have been absorbing so many Zerg units, just frivolously running in, hoping to catch some SCVs unguarded. But CuKu is definitely making a lot of units, not making any of those goddamn Hellions, because those don't do anything against these roaches. The Ravagers come in, 2 Biles are thrown out, one of them even misses the siege tank. A little bit of nerves coming in there, slight misclick, and the SCC has to lift. All of these SCVs running away, and I'm actually surprised that SpazyMazy got the bust there. He came in from one side and just a few units from the left. Now we do still have this. Oh my, what the? Okay, this drop just demolished SpazyMazy's economy completely and almost killed the third hatch. Here's me thinking SpazyMazy got some good damage done. He is completely all in, and CuKu is ready to boot him out of this game, although a lot of roaches are coming from the top here. We have some SCVs to buffer, perhaps. More Marines are coming out. Both sides do have 1-1. The medevacs are here to potentially pick up all of the units, and CuKu actually evacuates the area. I like that call a lot. He knows the damage that he did to the third base. He can abandon this position for a little bit, re-establish himself, and then go in for the retaking of the third base. I mean, so instinctually, you just want to defend your base, right? You just want to stand your ground. You're like, if I hold this base, I win the game. But sometimes you just can't. More Ravagers being morphed. The scouting CC sees all. There is a hive underway on 50 drones and +2 range. So SpazyMazy's not reinforcing this at all. We do have an infestation pit, but I don't see any infestors. I feel like 1 or 2 infestors could pay dividends here, especially if you want to drone behind this anyways. Oh! the Punkle Tempest, the Queen, does take down that one medevac. Double medevac drop near the 4th base that SpazyMazy found some money in his savings account to afford that. Marines run into the mineral line in the main, whilst the other drop runs into the 4th base. Drones are starting to fall here. The hive is finished, and CuKu does spot that. 2 Vipers are coming out. Okay. Oh, what? Ravager Biles kill that medevac? Dude, what? This game is crazy. Like, we are not in a normal game. Like, this game state is kind of whack. Not even getting Carapace anymore. He's just getting range. Like, F the good upgrade. I'm just getting the cheap one. 8 more Overlords underway. And SpazyMazy, I mean, I feel like it should just be exploding into more roaches now. He has the 2 Vipers. He can maybe perhaps still force another cancel on the 3rd base. But CuKu does have a lot of Marines here. They're stimmed up. No +2 just yet for either side. So the fight shouldn't be too bad for SpazyMazy unless he commits into 4 tanks here. And he does commit into the tanks. Oh! All these tanks evaporate the roach line. We do get a double kill from the Ravagers, but SpazyMazy's army completely destroyed here. We have the 2 Vipers. We even got a bunch of SEV kills, but I mean, the army supply is equal, but you know what they say about the roach. They know what we say about roaches. Roach supply is inefficient. It's not efficient supply. So actually, the Terran is ahead. And the Terran is looking mighty fine here. His medevacs are a little low on energy, so perhaps that is abusable, but the 4th base, the only base where more drones could be added on, is under siege. SpazyMazy commits to the defense. We get a very nice blinding cloud on those Marines. Have to completely spread out and can't fire for a bit. Some Zerglings come in as well to tank in the reinforcements, and SpazyMazy barely hanging on here. But oh my god, the Liberator behind here, and SpazyMazy 46 drones. This is not a happy Zerg. You want to have like 60, which is still low, but at least you can be, you know, you can be that annoying Zerg that didn't drone up further. You just have 60 drones, and you have roaches. But SpazyMazy is stuck on 50 drones, and he's making an Ultralisk Cavern off of +1 Carapace. This is an interesting development. Oh my god, the transfuses are not fast enough. Queen's dying with full energy. The Roach is not in position. The 3rd base clicked down. And CuKu, very happy with himself there. Kills one of the healthy bases from SpazyMazy. Only his 4th base remains as his healthy base. We do have the Parasitic Bomb almost taking down that medevac. And we do have the Ultralisk Cavern. But Ultralisks are goddamn expensive. And you still need 1, ideally 2 upgrades for them. Like, they are just not the unit you want them to be. I think you want Infestors. You don't have to commit any upgrades into them, and they can get you value over time. Which Ultralisks don't do either. They are super expensive, and they give you value that one time you run them in, and they tank a bunch of damage. Now, we do have 2 Ultralisks in production, but the 4th base has fallen as well. I mean, CuKu is just running him around, giving him the lap, and victory is imminent. Parasitic Bomb does manage to take down a medevac with 2 Marines. SpazyMazy's holding on here for dear life, but he's not holding on to anything solid. Like, the moment he puts his weight on this grip, he will fall down the ladder, or the wall, or whatever he is scaling. What do you do here? Well, as the Zerg here, you probably want to, like, drone a little bit, and then just make units. So you're like at 50, 55 drones. It's a terrible drone count, but it does afford you to max out maybe once. And your max will be bigger than your opponent because you have no workers. And then you just need a godlike fight. Or you turtle. And then you can actually make a bank. Because you are maxed. And then you can actually get those extra units or upgrades or whatever. But instead, SpazyMazy is sending it across the map here. 2 ultras already going down. The third one getting clicked down. These Marines are like, are these butter-made Ultralisks? What is happening? Don't these have any armor? Well, no, you have +2 and they have +1. They do have their chitinous plating. They do have the +2 armor upgrade. But it's not quite the same now, is it? Corrosive Battles do go down on the Liberator. 3 do kill 1 Liberator, and SpazyMazy's army is actually stuck here. They don't want to go through the Liberator zones. The Ravagers actually don't have a lot of HP or armor, and they get cleaned up by the Marine Marauder. It's especially the armor that's deceiving, because Roaches have like 2 starting armor, which makes them relatively tanky, and then the Ravagers actually lose that armor. So then, especially against Marines that attack so much, and how armor works in StarCraft 2, which I learned is actually unconventional. Because, like, StarCraft 2 is the first, like, armor, or first game that I learned that had, like, an armor mechanic, in this sense. Sure, I've played some MMOs and stuff, but I never knew how it would work. I just knew more armor, more better. But in StarCraft, it's like 1 armor negates 1 damage. SpazyMazy trying to play keep away here with this drop on his 3rd base, and I'm surprised he's staying in this game and he's kind of making it a game. Like, CuKu's just not making more workers. Floated over his main to the 4th base, so playing a lot more scrappy than I think he needs to, but I mean, he's still, honestly, in a winning position. We finally do get +2 Carapace and +1 melee. Try and get some upgrades going for these Ultras, but probably going to die before those upgrades finish. It might have been more useful to make 2 more Ultralisks. Oh my god, the kill zone right here with how many tags? 7 tags? 6 over here. The 7th one probably, yeah, in the main. The libs? And +3. Like, this game, as a Zerg player, hurt. From, like, minute 3 up to minute 18. It just hurt. It hurts to watch. Because it's, like, you want to have hope. But you know how hopeless the situation is. You know how big the plays have to be for you to really pull off a comeback here. And it's kind of interesting that SpazyMazy's take on it is just get Ultralisks and Vipers. That's a cool solution. I wonder when they are best. Is it the tank counts because they take the hits and the splash disappears? Or it doesn't disappear, but the splash doesn't, like, go further out than the Ultralisk itself because it's rather fat. So less units get hit per tank shot. So they're both tanky, high health, and they deal with the AoE from the tanks a little bit. And then you just hope they don't do attack upgrades, or they... like, they only make Marines and no more... like, you're making Roaches, so you're just expecting this composition, right? But I guess rushing Broodlords is even harder. And as soon as they have 4 Vikings, your game is over. And maybe some Ultralisk run bias can actually do a lot of damage. I don't know, maybe a Roach Burrow move would have been a cool addition. Like, Roach Burrow move and double down on the range, go for Lurker. I don't know, like, this is all theory, and he was just giga-dead with this low-ass economy. Just playing it out, hoping your hands produce some magic. Let's see what happens in game number 3. And CuKu takes down SpazyMazy on Site Delta there. He had to work for his food, but he also got to play with it a little. So, CuKu now prepares to make the comeback. The reverse 2-0 on Crimson Court. We saw him perform pretty well versus Yumi on this map. So maybe he has something planned. On the other side, we still have SpazyMazy going for another pull first, I presume. I just expect him to do that now. Yep, goes for the 16 pool. Pretty interesting. These are good replays to watch if you kind of want to get started on this build. Cyril also showed it a bit in his last tournament, I want to say. Like last big one. So, or at least the one before that. I know for sure that I saw Cyril play pool first. And that's pretty cool. And I mean, if Cyril does it, it's probably good enough. Like, it's kind of crazy. If Cyril does something, it isn't like the best thing anymore, because he is the best player. So he does slightly less optimal things to be more safe, because he will outplay you if the game goes longer, because he has more time to outplay you. Which is why, you know, players that are less good or the underdog try to usually favor things like timing attacks, or at some point they just need a resolution point. Because if you just end up in like a 45-minute game versus a player that is probably slightly favored against you, if not more favored, then there's 45 minutes where you can F it up and lose to your opponent. Oh, the links. Find the scouting SCV. 4 more links going across the map. SpazyMazy getting those links early. I wonder if there's also a version where you only get 2. I feel like 4 is the minimum, because you want to find this SCV, you still want to get 2 SCVs on, or 2 links on the SCV. The Reapers keep being kept back, and this is, of course, the big thing. The longer the Reaper stays back, the bigger the chance that a Roach Warren gets thrown down. And suddenly, if you stay back too much with the Reaper, you're too afraid of the Lings being annoying, then the Roaches come in. Now, to finish my thought from last game on the armor, I figured out that it's... Maybe I'm wrong here, but from my limited experience with video games, with armor systems, it's actually usually not the way StarCraft does it, where it's like 1 armor reduces 1 damage. At least that was my... first I thought it was, and then I played games like Dota or Stormgate. And they're like, no, we're doing it differently. We have physical resistance, and it's just a percentage. And then, I know for Dota that it's like, balance on a curve. Kind of like the first armor does the most, and then after that it's like diminishing returns. So maybe, I don't know exactly, but it's fair to say that like, the first armor reduces the damage by, let's say, 40%. And then the next armor reduces only 40% of whatever's left. Is that right? It's like, well, diminishing returns is the word, okay? Google it. Goddamn. So the first one just does more than the second, and the second does more than the third, etc., etc. And they also introduced the concept of negative armor, which was like... Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's just, you know, it's kind of a weakening thing, but it's also on the same curve. So, like, the first couple minus armors do way more than the other ones. I think. Maybe I'm incorrect, because I know that the counter to minus armor is just building armor, so that you don't get minus armored too much. Because, yeah, having, like, -3 is so much worse than having, like, 3. I don't know. Does that make sense? Because it probably depends on how much minus armor. Because if they can, like, -30 you... Like, going from 30 to 29, I presume that has a lot of impact then, because otherwise you wouldn't say counter minus armor with armor. Because otherwise you'd just get more health, or ignore the thing entirely, go for like physical resistance or damage block or other defensive tools. Okay, well, that's a thought experiment for another time. Let's look at what CuKu's doing here. He's getting Stim, he's getting his Medivacs, and we have a pretty standard 2-1-1 with a 3rd CC. And SpazyMazy, on the other side, is going for his lair. Only 1 gas, now adding 2 more on. We're getting the Baneling Nest, and bailing speed will probably start right away. Now we have double NG almost finished for CuKu. 11 drones coming out for SpazyMazy just as the drop is coming his way. He does have a decent amount of lings. Already starting to chew away at these rocks. That's good discipline. And, oof. Actually? Okay, wow. So, SpazyMazy actually had barely enough to hold off the drop there. It's a very delicate balance. The moment you have slightly too low of a ling count, your lings disappear slightly too fast before the rest arrive, and then the lings, or the queens, get targeted down, and they can't kill a medevac in time. But now, CuKu had to leave because his medevac would die before the queens would die. So it's an interesting cat and mouse game, and SpazyMazy going for the Spire play once again, getting the bailing speed and delaying the Evo chambers. I love this. He has a lot of lings. This guy likes making units, dude. It's rather confusing that he just goes like Spire from 60 drones. SpazyMazy is what we would call an aggressive player. Now the double Evo starts a little early actually, because usually you start it right after making the mutas, because you want to make a big clump of mutas. But perhaps he's changing plans, pivoting a little, and he wants to start 1-1 before making mutas. 27 Banes are gonna come out here. Wow, that's a lot. That's all of his gas bank gone. Holy moly, what does he think is coming his way? That's a lot of gas into Binglings there. Now we do have a little ling run by here, trying to get some damage done. And this force is going to meet infinite Banelings, which, as long as this Widowmine... Whoa, Widowmine does get a decent hit, but doesn't get like a huge clump. Only 4 Banelings going down there. And look at that. SpazyMazy, what's the plan? 4 mutas. That's the plan, because I made 22 Banelings. I now have 4 mutas. That's rough. And now he starts 1-1 as well. Okay, so these mutas are not going to be harassment focused. He just wants to have them to punish medevacs, and then he can start building up the muta count slowly but surely. So, I guess that's just a different philosophy in using mutas. I just kind of subscribe to the old one, where you build up the gas bank, you make like 8 to 10 mutas right away, and then you go across the map, try to keep the Terran back. But I like this adaptation from SpazyMazy, being like, I don't think I can afford to wait till the mutas pop. I need to make Banelings right now. I would love to see Burrow here, though. Because 2 Burrow Banes, 2 Burrow Banes, they can blow up a lot of Marines and give me a reason to scream like a little girl. Now the mutas are going to try and swoop on into the third base. This bunker is going to be annoying for the reinforcing mutas to come in. And, whoa, 1 turret. Completely stops all of the mutalisk harassment. Well, there's more turrets, but... this is a pretty cool wall. Pretty nifty. Now let's see. Oh, CuKu expanding forward to his opponent. Has a drop here at the top. The mutas are not there, and the mutas are trying to get there. I would love to see him collapse on the middle here. He has a lot of units. He can grab this. But there are 3 Widowmines. Now SpazyMazy comes in. Gets on top of the Hellbats. And loses all of his lings. Not preferable. The mutas are up top, though. How many mutas are we up to? 12. 6 more underway. So 18 mutas is a good number. Plus 1 about to finish. And now we're going straight into a hive. I hope to see 2-2 start right away, because 2-2 is already underway for CuKu. Luckily for SpazyMazy on this map, taking a 4th is kind of doable. You just get the bottom and the top one. And it's very hard for CuKu to deny both. And the top one was slightly easier because there wasn't a lot of creep there. Oh, the mutas come in. They don't click down the medevac there. A little bit too scared. They do kill 1 SCV. A Widowmine there gets a kill on, I think it was an Overseer. Now, on the other side of the map, CuKu's pushing out, and a Thor is here, ready to shoot the big muta clumps. A little bit of Ling Baneling is roly-polying on in, making more Banelings in the back. Nice nicely done by SpazyMazy. He's taking this fight pretty well. Want to see him re-spread the creep, and he's doing that in the center. So, we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. This top base keeps getting denied. Might finish up now, and a lot more bio is underway here from CuKu. We don't see the burrow, so it's just going to be Banelings surrounds. And the mutas have to find a little bit of damage. Only 12 mutas left here. 7 of them died. I didn't quite see that, but probably in the fight that we watched. Oh, the mutas do find a nice medevac full of units. Could even stop the CC and stop this force from moving out, but SpazyMazy playing a little bit too scaredy cat with his mutas. Look at them. They're in the top here, hoping to catch a drop that he just caught. And now suddenly there's an army in your face. I'm blaming that on your poor muta movement. Not gonna lie, you even have an overlord, like there's no way a drop got past you. But, I mean, it's a good, like, idle movement, right? If you're like, okay, I'm not gonna pay attention to a mutas right now, just a move into my 5th. That seems pretty good. Oh, Bane here holds off as long as you have creep you can defend with Bane. Mutas are harassing here at the 4th base of CuKu, getting some SCV kills, but SpazyMazy feels like he needs to give up this base. The queens are sacrificed for the cause. More Bane streaming on in. We even get Chitinous Plating started up. 2-2 is finished. But no Ultralisks just yet. And he's even starting more links. He's so afraid. Not in favor of any infestors, even though he has 1,000 gas in the bank, and here come the first Ultralisks. The 2 turrets are clicked down, plus 1 of the mutas, very nice. No building armor. 3-3 has started for the Terran, and look at this. This is the annoying part. You're like, oh, goddamn, mutas are so annoying. He just dove into the natural. He did dive into the 4th base as well. Oh, but the mutas fly into the Marines. Ugh! How dare he just stim and hope that I fly into him. Every Zerg thinks. SpazyMazy now expanding to the left, needs to start expanding to the right, and he's trying, but the Widow Mine here keeping him from expanding. Very nice. Widow Mine is going to be killing that drone. This Ultralisk does get stuck. This map is a little weird with the pathing. Look at that Ultralisk. He probably clicked over here, and this isn't big enough for an Ultra. The pathing is just annoying. What can you do? Oh, takes a fight off creep. SpazyMazy, what do you think you will accomplish here? I guess he feels like he has to, because this is his last, like, real mining base, and maybe he can get a good fight, but CuKu just takes a wonderful fight there. Cleans up all the Ultralisks after an Ultralisk donation as well. And look at that. Bing, bada, boom. 25 plus drones going down. 27 is the end count. Another base gets spotted. This Widow Mine hasn't been cleared up, and things go from bad to worse for SpazyMazy, and he knows it. He GG's out, gives CuKu the 2-0 reverse sweep, and oh my god, dude, SpazyMazy, I feel like you... Well, you didn't have that one in the bag, but you were playing that game pretty well, and you could have lived way longer and had a good chance, especially after catching all those SCV kills, catching the medevac, and taking pretty good trades at the bottom. Like, this top base just, like, not mined out enough, get the 1 or 2 Ultralisks out of position, and just no creep here whatsoever, which, you know, was just because CuKu was playing so well, denying that creep over and over. And then, of course, the 4th base being denied by all these Widow Mines. Super annoying. Usually you want to use, like, either an Overseer with a couple Lings or your Mutalisks themselves to clear it out. Like, it's very tempting to use your Mutaflock because they are so mobile and fast. And you can actually one-shot the Widow Mine with enough mutas so you don't lose any units. Don't have to split, like, some Lings. But the downside is that the moment the Terran sees you clearing this Widow Mine, they are pushing in here, or clearing creep over here. They don't care. They know that these mutas are not here, not here, not here, not here, not here. They are not looking for drops, not looking for small pockets of units, not looking for a geyser to kill, not looking to cancel upgrades. They are clearing a Widow Mine at their potential 4th. It's kind of the same as in Dota, right? Like, the moments you show on a creep wave, on the other side of the map, and your team is like also showing one hero mid and the rest is showing top, and you see nobody, that's the moment that you need to make sure that your team knows that you don't have a TP scroll and you're not coming top, so they need to back the F off. Because if they get 5v3'd, you will get pinged and they will be angry, but it's not your fault. Well, it's kind of your fault for showing on the wave, but sometimes you can't stop that. Sometimes you need to, I don't know, it's a lot of money, or need to save a tower, whatever. Sorry for all the MOBA talk for the people that love RTS more than MOBA. You know, I put it at the end, okay? You could have already tuned away. But we love multiple video games here, and I just happen to also be kind of Dota pilled, as well as like Yu-Gi-Oh pilled for some reason. But StarCraft was and is my first love. You don't count like Command and Conquer Renegade or Reveler 3 or whatever. Okay. Rambling is over. Guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one when we have Group D with a Laser, Hero Marine, and others. Cheers.